Welcome to the Fixing Assets Edit Suite. This episode of Fixing Assets was filmed before a live studio audience, namely Mr. Pentagram and Pentagram Jr. I know the sound's rubbish, I used the phone microphone. I'm looking at different solutions. Obviously, my wireless microphones were a bit rubbish, but I want to look into things a bit more. Remember that this is in fact done on a shoestring. The other thing to remember, there is uneven brake wear. I know that in normal circumstances, uneven brake wear would need investigation. However, I do know the reason why the uneven brake wear has occurred. The uneven brake wear has occurred because I changed one set of shoes on the left-hand side in 2019 when I had to dismantle the brakes for repairs to the studs, which it's a long story. So, enjoy this episode of Fixing Assets. Look for the red car. Now on Fixing Assets, we're going to go through this car with a fine-tooth comb, a relatively fine-tooth comb. We're going to grease the nipples, and we're going to inspect the brakes and other components to see if we need to give it any love. Okay, so the first thing that I will do is check the brakes. So we check that the pads have plenty of meat. Now they definitely do. It's easier to check around the back. The other thing is to have a look at any boots. So particularly this one here, this one here. Is there any degradation? Actually pretty good. Now if we look at the state of the rest of it, we've got a lot of the this paint coming off. Now the wings are coming off later this year or early next year, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. So there's grease points here, and we'll just move the tripod under there. So I'm quite happy that that's okay. The other thing I'm going to check is the bearings, which seem to be okay. I'm quite happy with that. Let's check the back. Okay, to save having to mess around looking through holes, I've just taken the drum off. As you can see, there is plenty meat on that. I'm quite happy with that. Now, because it was so easy to take the drum off, definitely needs some adjustments. So let's pop them back on. There we go. And put the screw back in. Feel for where the adjustment screw is. There it is. So tighten it up. Tighten it up again. That's got a lot more resistance. That's a bit too loose. That's probably right there. So it's taking 2 notches. So I'm quite happy with that corner. There's nothing too untoward to worry about here. I'm going to try the other side. Now this one again, as you can see, is pretty much bang on perfect. Very mucky inside. But there's still plenty of meat on there. So I'm going to clean that off camera, put it back together, and say that the back brakes are ready to go. Or am I? Probably not. That's not good enough. So I'm going to replace those shoes, I think. Right. I'll inspect the front. Okay, so a bit of light on the subject. You can see the brake pads have meat left on them. Yep. And wheel bearing seems okay. So I've got the nipples to grease. 2 boots seem okay. So I'm happy with that. We're a week later. We have greased the handbrake cables and axle, the universal joints. We've greased the trunnions and the track rod end. So these 2 wheels are ready to go back on. I've also put a little bit of JB weld on to hold that together until I can weld it up. It's same on the other side. That brake, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But I'm keeping the brake kit in the car just in case. But that one's just checked the adjustment and ready to go. I've got a boot completely filled with rubbish. And I've got new brake pads on there. I've just got to put the retaining clips and springs on. After that, the other jobs I want to do, I've got the bolts and the pins and stuff to get these back on. I was going to maybe put a little bit of paint on here, but to be honest with you, I don't think it matters. It's not going to be a show car when it's on holiday. Also got a fair bit of chaos in there to deal with. I'm not showing you me doing it because that means that I'm concentrating on filming, not on getting the work done. I'm not going to do a video on me bodges because that would be stupid. The metal's going to be cut out and it's going to be replaced and it's going to be better rust proofed. But there's a lot of remedial stuff to do. And obviously where I hit my workbench, quite like to have the whole wing painted. I'm going to paint the whole front of the car and possibly the 2 doors as well. But that is a task for when the Marine is done. And the Beetle and the other Beetle. So when I put this together, next task is going to be that. The engine's coming out. I don't think it's going to be this weekend though. So if you've enjoyed this video, like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.